Welcome one, welcome all to the Xbox Expansion Pass, your place for thoughtful discussions on gaming without the console war noise. Please make sure you're subscribed over on iTunes, Spotify, or right here on YouTube. I'm your host, Luke Lore, the Insipid Ghost, joined as always by my co-host, the intrepid Captain Logan. This week, we are tracking the potential Forza Horizon 6 leak just ahead of the Xbox Developer Direct. We're looking at industry shifts in layoffs and what's shaping up to be one of the biggest Xbox showcases if what we know comes to pass. We'll break down all the week's gaming news, analyze the impact, and uncover stories that matter most to players and creators alike. Logan, we like to start the show by offering words of kindness to those who have made our gaming weeks better. But first, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. It's the weekend, which means I'm not working, which also means I am gaming. But I've actually been on the grindstone in World of Warcraft, so I've actually been doing quite a bit of gaming. But it's been a good week. Just kind of dealing with work as usual. I'm sure everyone can relate that they're looking forward to that Friday when they can actually get off and be able to spend an entire 48 hours, and in some people's cases, 72 hours, just focusing on stuff that they wanna work on.
Absolutely, man.
How about you? How was your week?
Week was good, busy. I had to give a speech in front of a big group of people. I had to go to some tense and tough meetings where I had to, I guess you would say, be the boss, which I'm not the boss. So that was strange. I'm always trying to work to be a better leader. And so I genuinely practiced some stuff in the mirror, and I practiced communicating it because I want to be a good leader, good role model. But it's sometimes you're like, all right, how do I do this and how do I do it the right way? And so it was a good week, and those things turned out well.
Good.
But like, I don't know if you get like this, but all right, I got to do this and I got to do this. I got to do this. And I can't think past the thing that I've got to do most immediately. So like, I have a homework assignment due that I need to do. I couldn't get past my stuff at work to do it until I finished the stuff at work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I had to. I very similar. I was very overwhelmed on like Monday, Tuesday, and I literally I can't remember which day it was. I literally went to lunch break. I put on some Disney music. I had to clean my kitchen and make lunch, and that was like my regroup point. I came back down. I put down like a priority list of all the stuff that I need to work on, what the priority of it is, and started to kind of build out through there. And it's tough sometimes, when you've got multiple things going on, especially at work or at home or both. And like, how do you try and prioritize that kind of stuff? You got to figure out what's most urgent. And that's the adult thing that they don't do a really good job of teaching you in school. They're like, hey, this is where Nigeria is. And you're like, cool. Okay. And then when you get out of school, you're just like, I have like 16 homework assignments from college. I don't know how to manage any of this.
You're right. You are correct, for sure. I do want to give a shout out to the people that are watching live with us over in our Xbox chat. The wonderful and amazing A-Chick was first into the room. She says she slept 13 hours last night after a stressful week of work. She's ready to relax and game. Cheers to you, A-Chick. I hope you're doing well. And I'm sure you guys have some good gaming time ahead. Nissa Hauer in the chat saying Fae Farm is on her list of gaming stuff to play, as well as our boy Jose in the chat from the Nerdcast. Missed him on his podcast this week. I haven't finished listening, but I did miss him. I always do. Jose is one of those people that if I'm having a rough day, I message him. I don't know why. He's my people. Never met him in person. I feel like I'd give him a big bear hug and he'd be good with it. We have our boy Clutch Kwando in the chat. Always love seeing Clutch Kwando. Genuinely makes my day. He's one of my Gears brothers for sure. And then of course I saw one more. Gentle Stone in the house. Good to see you. I don't know who the PlayStation Trophy Room is, but I hope they are doing well. They had a great episode this past week. I will give them a good healthy shout out. I enjoyed their episode this past week.
That's good.
Yeah. Joe and Kyle looking healthy, light, wonderful as always. Genuinely appreciate good creators working hard to make content for their audiences. So
I missed it. Was Kyle upset about the removal of his trophies?
I don't understand their drive for the platinums. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I think as well, because like our coverage in the Xbox space this is true to form. Like we're having to adapt with Xbox, right? You go 5 years ago, man, I was all about that 1K achievement list. I wanted to get this, that, the other. Now I'm very particular where I put my time in for the achievements. And I think because half my gaming library is Steam based now, and I redeem those free games every month from Luna, from Epic Game Store, the stuff that goes on to Steam free. I'm always building my library on the backside there. That the Game Pass immediate library is less important to me. Well, if I'm on the Steam Deck or the Steam machine in future, I just don't care about achievements as much. And I think that is a freeing feeling. It's also frustrating because I really love my gamer score. It matters a lot to me. So when I see them pushing for platinums, I'm like, I don't get it anymore. I used to get it. You know what I mean?
Well, when you get one game a year, that platinum matters a lot. You gotta show your representation to make sure that you're getting that 1K on the one game they put out.
You're making good points. For sure. For sure.
I'm kidding, people.
He's not kidding. Well, I want to start with my words of kindness this week, Logan. Amidst everything, I had a very fun gaming week. One of those things that I couldn't think past. I got to speak with Jason Schreier.
Yeah.
Who I'm really glad that I reached out to him years ago, and then I built kind of a working relationship where he's willing to answer and we talk about things because I feel like I learn a lot from him. And I know that he is divisive for some Xbox fans, and I have long since put that behind me because I really enjoy and appreciate the coverage, the insight, learning about the industry from him. And he was good enough to come on a show where we have an incredible audience, but small by comparisons to the likes of like Kind of Funny or Spawncast or anything like that. So really enjoyed him coming on, talking about Grand Theft Auto 6 as well as industry layoffs. And I felt like I learned a lot, and I feel like some people are catching on and listening to that as well. If you haven't checked that out, guys, he really was gracious with his time, and I think very informative as well. And I saw one website did a write-up on it. So.
Can I spoil one little thing about the interview?
Sure. Yeah.
I'm surprised that more people haven't written up that Schreier has announced that the GTA 6 was canceled.
That's true.
I'm surprised. Yeah. And like just minutes in and already just like the headline news, and nobody's really talked about it. I'm glad because it'll give Xbox an opportunity to kind of like fit their games in wherever they want, instead of just like shoving them all in 1 month and leaving it up to the audience to determine what they want to play. Yeah. So I was very happy to get that information and stuff. Definitely.
I did get a cool write-up from thegamer.com, which they did a nice little GTA write-up and cited the podcast. Didn't make the rounds too much anywhere else, but it didn't matter because I was really happy, and I felt like people really enjoyed it. So yeah, people
listening is really the goal of what we're looking to do, is just get people to have a source of news that they like, from people that they like to hear from, talking about the stuff that they love. Because I mean, I think that's the goal of everyone, is just kind of like, if you want to share the conversation about games, whether it's one game a year or the biggest game in the century being canceled, there's like so many other things that you could be talking about. But at least, we have an opportunity to talk about like Fae Farm,
Yeah, there you go. I do also want to give a shout out to one Travis Smith. I was putting the show notes together today. My Steam notifications beeped, and that's a rare thing for me because I'm not a big social Steam person. But then I got a message from an incredible listener of the show, Travis Smith, and so he just said, "Hey, I appreciate the content you put out. I appreciate what you guys are doing.
That's awesome.
Thanks for making my week better." And I was like, "Dude, tell me your." He had like a gamer tag name. I was like, "Tell me your first name. I need to thank you on air because I appreciate it." It was just a cool feeling. So thank you, Travis. I appreciate you, my friend. So yeah, Logan, who made your gaming week better, bud?
Dude. So like I mentioned before, I've been on that WoW grind because they released housing in like a pre-patch for the next expansion.
We've not talked about this every episode.
So I'm just, dude, it's so good. It's so freaking good. It is the Animal Crossing that, and I played a little bit of Animal Crossing today. They got that new update, and I'm going to be honest, it's cute, but it's no WoW housing. That's all I'm going to say. But no, I've been working through trying to get a lot of stuff done because they've had a really big time limited event going on. And if it wasn't for people like us who write up guides or do videos or talk about news, stuff like that, I would be so lost. So I've been watching YouTube videos. I've had articles up and stuff like that. And it's just nice that there are gamers out there who their passion may not, be like a specific console or like the headline news. But theirs is like one game, one aspect of the game, and they want to make content for that, because there's always going to be an audience for that kind of thing, regardless of what people may think. And I've really appreciated that they are out there kind of doing that, because it was integral to me being able to get a lot of the stuff that I wanted to get done this last few weeks. So
I'll echo that for sure, because I enjoy a good like rabbit hole. Like, oh, I'm down the rabbit hole and I'm learning all about this thing, or I'm playing all these games. And
yes,
those content creators that dedicate themselves to one type of game or one type of content, I really appreciate. And like, it's fun because you feel like you get to know that content creator. You know what to expect. You know what to look for when you're trying to find the thing for your guy, but you know how this content creator is going to, make it. And then I have other content creators for other purposes. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I actually asked the XEP Discord, shout out to those patrons, because they're amazing. I asked them, I was like, hey, who do you go to for daily news? And it was cool seeing like who they responded with, because some of them I use, some of them I had never heard of, some of them I don't use at all because they're not my jam.
yeah.
But they all had they all had somebody they went to, and it's just like, when I find this arena, this content creator, it's important to support them. And I say it every time we have a content creator guest on, and I'm thinking in my mind of Jesse Norris right now. Like, Xbox Era works so hard. Hit the like button when you see their content. Share their stuff if you're able to. Support them where you can, because it just matters. It helps them. It helps them, big and small.
Yeah. Yeah, it really does. And shout out to everyone in chat that supports the friends of our show as well too. It was nice to see Kev bring his show back on air. They took a hiatus. I think it was like 2.
Are they back? I missed that in my gaming week.
Yeah. They it was it Wednesday or Thursday?
Oh, was he doing it with Sam Heaney? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay, then I have watched a few. Okay.
Well, yeah. But they've been on hiatus for the last 2 weeks. I want to say it was 2 weeks. Just because with holidays and stuff like that. So they were back on the horse this week, and it was good to watch their content and stuff. And nice to see like a nerd chat continuing on, even if Jose and Bubble Boy were off doing who knows what they were doing, but they were off doing. They were probably having like a get together because they got them Xbox Ally X's and stuff. They were probably at like a hangout somewhere, at like a Wendy's, eating fries and Frosties and like playing video games together with all these other random people that they're making friends. Who knows? But yeah, it's good to see a lot of them coming back in and starting to get back into the content creation with the new year.
I agree. I fully agree. And it's nice to see them finding success as well. They alluded to their numbers going up, which makes me happy and stuff like that. So
yeah, I don't know what that's like.
All righty, guys. Well, let's get to the week's gaming news, as it were. It was a quiet week in terms of like releases and like bombshell stuff. We had some sad news in the layoff space, but for Xbox specific, of course, we've got the developer direct next week. Forza Horizon 6, though, saw a possible leak that has been making the rounds with a screenshot for a pre-order that was available in the Forza Horizon 5 window. Xbox Infinite shared over on their Twitter page a screenshot that suggested you can pre-order Forza Horizon 6. It will be arriving into early access on May 15th with a full release on May 19th. This, of course, coming ahead of the developer direct, and no confirmation of it, but it really lines up quite well. If it's not real, it certainly is a very good, I guess you would say, facsimile of what could be real. They have all the stuff that you would expect from a VIP membership. And I'll tell you, as a lover of Forza Horizon, since 3 on, all the extra content, all the VIP packs, I enjoy those premium editions. I enjoy those. For me, it's not just early access. It's all the stuff they give you with it. And I like that. If they keep the formula holding true and it doesn't change, then I do plan on purchasing the premium version, unless we get codes, and it's possible we do, possible we don't. I honestly haven't gotten a message about it once, so maybe not. But
gotta reach out, be like, hey,
I do need to.
It's
Do
coming.
that.
Well, they'll probably like after the developer showcase. I imagine they'll probably reach out and start being like, "Hey, we're going to be doing blah 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 blah. Would you guys be interested in blah blah blah?" And
right.
It's weird because. Included. Yeah, hopefully we are included. If you guys don't know, the emails that we get actually do have like blah 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 blah, and we have to use Google Translate to figure out what they're actually intending. It's really bizarre.
I want to apologize to all the PR people that he's offending right now.
No, I'm talking about the spam. The PR people are fantastic, but we do get the spam messages that are blah 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 blah.
There you go.
There, I covered it.
Yeah, thanks, bud. May 19th as a full release for Forza Horizon 6. That's the rumor. Quite plausible rumor, I would argue. Doesn't look to me like a bad date. Doesn't seem like it would be a bad time. I think May is a good time to release a game like that, especially multi-platform. What do you think about that one? I was hoping to be earlier.
I'm actually really good with that. To be perfectly honest, because I think like springtime is a great time. I don't remember when cherry blossom season hits for Japan. But I know that that's always been like a really pretty time for them. So like May, totally cool. I mean, like February is going to be Resident Evil for a lot of people. March, April, we'll probably hear more about that. I would love to have like a March release for like Fable. That'd be fantastic if we could get like a by before the end of the quarter kind of thing. It's also first on the kind of docket as far as like the developer direct. So I'm hoping March for Fable. That gives them a couple months, and then May for Forza, which, oh, dude, I'm looking forward to that. I loved 5 was so good. Especially like the little things in there that you find if you like drive around the towns and you kind of stop and you check things out and you walk around and stuff. Such a good job with that franchise, man. Yeah. When you go to like the little, you do. You change your clothes and you go to like, there's little areas.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking like open world, get up.
No.
What? Okay.
Yeah, no. There's like certain areas where you can kind of like walk to a building and stuff like that. But like for the most part, you're usually in your car. But they did a fantastic job with the trip to Mexico. Can't wait to figure out what they're doing with Japan. And I honestly, this is going to be weird, and it's probably going to be really weird if it does happen. But I'm kind of hoping that they have like a nostalgia kind of like, hey, here's Godzilla in the background on like the out in the ocean if you drive along the coast or something like that. Just like little things like that. I can't wait. It'll be fun.
I think so. That'd be fun. That'd be really fun. And I love that kind of like IP crossover. And Japan's very much embrace that kind of stuff. Like I don't think it's culturally insensitive if done well, if done right, if done respectfully.
They made it.
They did. Well, I mean, yes, but
their thing.
You're in Japan, you have to have Godzilla. That's all I mean. But I will say, I have no memory of getting out of my car in Forza Horizon 5, but I have these immaculate and wonderful memories of Forza Horizon 5, and like that's the best part. I haven't talked to him in over or almost a year now, but like Ryan McCaffrey used to say, Forza Horizon is a great driving game, not a great racing game. And I wholeheartedly subscribe to that mentality. I really enjoy, he says it's more about the driving than the racing. And like what he means by that is anybody can just go. And I really am excited by that prospect and just going to Japan. Inevitably, I think we get a Fast and Furious crossover. That's something I'll spend money on.
Dude, yeah. That'd be cool.
And those are fun things for me. I'd love when they do IP stuff. I don't think they do that enough under the Xbox umbrella. I talk about that quite often. But I also want to, we're going to talk later about the gravity of Forza Horizon on other platforms, but Forza Horizon very prominently featured on the PlayStation storefronts, on Steam storefronts. That is one of those games that I think belongs to everyone. Much like I think Spider-Man should belong to everyone, much like I think some franchises should just be everywhere. And I've had a lot of thoughts this week about what should and shouldn't be exclusive, because we got a great question from Todd Oxtra over on Discord that we're going to bring up later. So definitely worth investigating, but I'm excited for Forza Horizon. I like that date. Don't mind it one bit. Wish it was sooner. I think Fable might be filling that spot. I've heard, and I think there's going to be an Xbox first party title sooner than May. So that's suggestive that it's Fable.
the quarter. They got to do something for the quarter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's got to be something like they have it. It's not like they don't have a lack of games that they could toss out there. It just depends on what's ready. But I mean, I think what they're hoping to do is do kind of a media blast for Fable, because we really haven't seen a whole. We've seen like a couple videos and like some information about it, but I'm hoping what they do is that this week we find out the story of Fable from the devs, and then the next 2 months up to launch in March are going to be the media blast that they have that kind of gives us like, okay, now we're going to be feeding you information. Now we're going to be feeding you like environments, like little things about like the soundtrack and like the characters and what you're going to expect, and just kind of do that kind of like 2 month build up to the release and really go big with it, because I think that they want to. And I think that that's something that everyone will kind of, it'll be like a nice kind of like, dude, it'll be so nice. We're getting it so soon. And they'll kind of feed us stuff through the PR up until that launch.
Anubis, amazing friend of the show, says in our YouTube side, he says, we've seen so little of Fable, it would be nuts for them to be sooner. I can understand that, but I think there's also some lessons learned on the Xbox side with Redfall and Starfield and many of the others that like, we did show some stuff too soon.
Yeah.
Avowed, we showed some stuff too soon. So one hopes they learned some from those lessons, and they've been holding back on purpose. They have stated very openly and clearly they've got a lot to show us. They've got a lot to show us. So, in theory, we've got some good stuff there. Shoe Daddy 13 over on your Twitch channel says, pull that one up for him. Says, Fable was such a fantastic game. 2 was awesome. 3 was good, but didn't live up to the first 2. I really hope this remake does it justice. I hope so too, man. I really hope so too, because I want people to play good games, and I don't think Xbox has, I guess, garner the attention that might be deserving of the quality of games they've been putting out. Citing Indiana Jones is a good one. Again, I talk about often that the quality of that game is amazing. Nobody cared, right? Fable, I still don't think anyone cares.
Did it hit zeitgeist levels like Arc Raiders? No, but did people enjoy it? Like, well, and I guess that's the question. Like, what is Xbox's expectations for these games? Is their expectation to keep people subscribed to Game Pass? I think games like Indiana Jones and Doom Eternal and Avowed and South of Midnight are good examples of that. They're good enough games to keep subscribed. Do they need to be the next Wolverine? Probably not. If there's enough games,
Okay,
so
fair.
Maybe we're looking at it in a different light.
I don't think we are, but I could be wrong. We do me a favor. Let's jump to our Reese Elliott story. This is from Alinea Analytics. Look, would you mind pulling up the chart that I see you have ready for us? Okay. So Alinea Analytics, genuinely a great news outlet that you should subscribe to if you're able, guys. Really good stuff from Reese Elliott. How well did 2025 Xbox games do on PlayStation? So these are estimates based on data for copies sold by Xbox first-party studios over on the PlayStation side. Elder Scrolls Oblivion estimated to be 1.1 million copies over on PlayStation. I think that's a great number. Good stuff. Surprised it's not higher, if I'm being honest with you. I'm surprised all of these aren't higher. But Gears of War Reloaded coming in around 570,000. Doom the Dark Ages just under 500,000. Indiana Jones just under 500,000. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 barely 2.25 thousand. Ninja Gaiden 4 just over 200,000. Flight Simulator barely over 150,000. Age of Empires 150. Outer Worlds 135,000. Age of Mythology just over 100,000. So approximations, estimates. Clutch Kwando asking a very logical question in chat saying, how are they estimating these though? Great question. I don't want to speak to that in this moment. I'm going to pull it up in the background when Logan gives his take, just so we can answer that question for you. But I will say for any listener live or on VOD, Alinea Analytics and Reese Elliott quality reporting. These aren't your throw it out on NeoGAF or Reddit and just say this is what it is. They don't do faux numbers that I'm aware of in any way, shape, or form. So I'll look that up. And I have a lot of thoughts on these numbers. Logan, would you mind giving me your take while I do that?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of impressed with Elder Scrolls Oblivion. I think that the reason that one has seen a lot more success than the other titles is purely just based on the legacy of Bethesda being a third party company up until when they were purchased by Xbox. So there's a lot of people that played the Elder Scrolls games on PlayStation when they were first launched, and that nostalgia definitely hits home. I'm surprised, if anything, that Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 didn't do more numbers. But I think that that's kind of a known quantity here. The thing that I appreciated was seeing that Indiana Jones was actually holding its weight in and amongst things like Doom, The Dark Ages, and Gears of War. I think a lot of that is potentially due to, one, like knowledge of the IP, but two, Troy Baker's execution on that game was fantastic. And there's been, a history with PlayStation fans loving and supporting Troy Baker as a voice actor. So I think that really does kind of speak to, they're wanting to support him because they love him and the what he's been able to do for a lot of the first party titles over on Sony's platform. The one that was kind of surprising to me, the standout though, was actually Flight Simulator. And that Flight Simulator actually beat out the Outer Worlds, which was released third party to the Switch one as well as the PlayStation 4, and that didn't do more over on PlayStation. Now I imagine that maybe because it's one of the more recent titles that have been released and that just hasn't really had a whole lot of time. But Outer Worlds 2 is a fantastic game, but to be beaten out by Flight Simulator, I guess just kind of speaks to how much larger the flight sim community is than I was expecting. We tend to look at things like racers and flight sims and stuff as kind of like the smaller group of community in the gaming verse. But you look at a game like Outer Worlds 2, which first person, third person action adventure game, RPG, American RPG kind of design, and it really it was beat out by Age of Empires. So I was kind of impressed that some of these did better than I was expecting, and kind of bummed that some of them really didn't hit as well as I was hoping they would.
I'm inclined to agree. I do have a comment. I do have some information on Alinea Analytics, and I will share more in just a moment. Actually, do you mind putting it back up there one more second, Logan?
Yeah.
I find these numbers actually rather damning and not necessarily great. You'll notice that Forza Horizon is not on here. And so it's a matter of timing and what's available here and there. But what's interesting to me is Gears of War is a pillar franchise for Xbox. It's a massive news when you see Gears of War E-Day, when you see Gears of War 4 and 5, and to see it barely get over 500,000 on rival platform surprises me. Now I'm going to tell you right now, Gears of War Reloaded, not a good port, but I don't think that's necessarily indicative of the excitement. Shocked by Doom: The Dark Ages. Doom is a pillar franchise of the gaming industry, not even Xbox, but of the gaming industry. Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, huge titles, consistently topping sales charts upon release, consistently charting during sale periods. Really good. I mean, I love Doom: The Dark Ages, but it wasn't perfect. To see it not even get 500,000 surprises me. Indiana Jones does not surprise me. They've had no relevantly good media outside of this game that charts big. Sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to diss anyone that loves Indiana Jones.
It's very rude, and I'm taking it personal. How dare you?
Well, that's how it's meant. Good. But Tony Hawk, I thought that was a big deal that this game came back. Remasters of really popular titles there. Integration with other IP. Ninja Gaiden 4, really thought that would do better. So I am surprised by this. We can go ahead and pull that down. Thank you, Logan. I will call out and respectfully note, Sinistral J said, let's be real, everyone interested in the first Gears has already played it numerous times. I understand the logic. I subscribe to it to a point, but I think that's something that people in their late 30s and 40s say. But we're introducing Gears. We're trying to introduce Gears, we being like, people that are making it, I should say, to new generations ahead of what's meant to be a major launch in 2026 of Gears of War E-Day, which should be fantastic. So I do have just qualms when I see it, and it makes me wonder, I understand not being exclusive, that being a dated thing. I do think a lot of exclusivity is fading in terms of relevance, but if Xbox is trying to build a Steam competitor with their new PC-based consoles, handhelds, they're trying to rival and bring Xbox to be rivaling Steam in terms of availability. And make no mistake, they clearly are, and it's ambitious to do so. If you're trying to do that and you don't have a reason to buy it, if the stuff's available everywhere, and when you do put many of your things elsewhere, they don't chart over 1 million, you have a red flag in my mind. And I do not want to speak like I know these things, but I will tell you, it didn't feel like those were good looking numbers.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I agree with you that the numbers aren't great. But I am trying to remind myself that these are numbers that equate to dollars that Microsoft wouldn't have had if they hadn't brought those games over. And at that point, I'm like, they may have done well on Xbox, but to be clear, like we've talked about it quite a bit. It's not like Xbox is doing well when it comes to console sales. And we haven't seen any updates to the Game Pass numbers. So at this point, it seems like they are just going for bulk. They are, and I made this analogy quite a bit where I feel like Xbox is the buffet, and Game Pass is the purchase into that buffet. Whereas you go to like the steak dinner, you go to the steakhouse if you want good experience. If you want a really good dinner that's going to cost a bit, you go to PlayStation. And if you want that kind of weird, quirky, like fun stuff that's like, you're going out to like a state fair or something like that, you go to Nintendo for the food truck style of food. You kind of know what you're going to get. It's going to be like a couple tacos.
You do it.
Yeah. So I feel like with Xbox, in this case, the numbers may not be amazing, but at the same time, they've got a lot of titles on this list. And there's a lot of people buying copies. And if you add up the group of them, all of these titles had their time on Xbox. So they were probably going to make about as much as they were at launch. And there would be like trickle in with sales and discounts and stuff like that, or people checking them out as they get new access to like the ecosystem. But it's one of those things where, as much as I would have loved to have seen all of these games exclusive and really seen like the rise of Xbox, and had this powerhouse of a console that had amazing games and so many games that people were unable to ignore the need to have access to them, that's not their playbook as much as I would like it to be. And we've had this conversation many times. The numbers are low, but it's still money that Microsoft is getting, as opposed to if they weren't. Because right now there's an ecosystem over on Nintendo side that is completely untapped. And it's surprising to me that they haven't tried to tap into that yet.
That's a Nintendo thing, development kits pretty comfortably. And to be clear, Jason Schreier did reference that, publicly referenced that it is very clear that, it's suggestive that those Game Pass numbers are kind of comfortably sitting in the middle 30 millions. So like 35 million or so. I want us to look back as a thought experiment, because again, the exclusivity conversation is done and dusted, right? As far as like what's currently happening. You got a PlayStation, you're going to play Xbox games. That's okay. All right. That's fine. However, I do think you look back at the Xbox 360, you had a stagnant Xbox, right? The original Xbox, the OG, not the Xbox One. Don't get it twisted. But the Xbox 360 broke onto the market with exclusive games ahead of its competition, games you could only play there that people were interested in. They have an opportunity to do something similar with their next Xbox if they're truly trying to compete with Steam, if you're truly trying to compete Are you with PlayStation? I don't know. They've got this big slate of titles coming up. They've got new hardware in the pipeline. If they were to launch new hardware, you got to give people a reason to buy it. And it's a possibility, but I do wonder what their marketing is going to be like. The Steam machine is expected to launch with Half-Life 3 or something. I know they've got a secret game other than Half-Life 3 that they are working on. I can't remember the name of it right now.
That's exactly it.
Right, but like they're going to try and give you a reason to check it out. And it's what's going to be the reason to get the next Xbox? What is it? What's the reason? Because man, Halo looks cool. It's going to multi-platform.
Yeah.
Fable, we expect it multiplayer. We expect all of their stuff multi-platform. So like, what's the reason behind it? I think when I looked at those numbers, I was like, man, maybe timed exclusivity is the way to go for all of it. I don't know, right? Like, I'm not advocating, I'm not saying, and I'm not even trying to just make content. I just look at that and I was like, oh man, maybe I don't know what the right reasons are. What?
So I would say it depends on the hardware. For me, I don't know, because Rocksteady just did me dirty with Red Dead. But for me, like I know that's a weird thing to say, but they did. They didn't even leave their number. So I was sitting there thinking about like what would it be or what would it take? Because I'm definitely going to get a Steam machine. Like the more and more I play on my PC, the more and more I want to get a Steam machine. And it's one of those things where I'm like, I would love to utilize my TV more. And there's some games that I have on my Steam system. So if I'm looking at like what Xbox does, well, Xbox does legacy well. I think they do legacy better than any other company out there, with maybe the exception to like Steam and GOG. But those are predominantly PC systems. Like you're not going to get GOG on any kind of console. So legacy is the thing that's going to push me to get the next Xbox hardware for now. Until they announce like whatever gimmicks or hardware utilizations they're going to be doing, it's going to be a hard press for me because I just want the disk drive and access to my Xbox games. Like that's it. If I have to go and buy an external thing and they say like, hey, we're going to have like PCs able to play console games, as well as the next console is going to be able to play console games and PCs, even though it's a PC thing. It's going to depend on what that feature set is, but right now I think legacy is the best selling point for Xbox. Because I think honestly, like having a PlayStation, if you're comfortable with the controller, or a Steam machine that plays everything, then you're probably going to want to look at something that is you're going to have to find something that's unique. And I don't know if Xbox has that in their pocket this generation.
I don't either. Friend of the show, Jesse Norris. Future Xbox hardware, it keeps back compat for the 50 plus million people using their Xbox Ones and Series consoles. And now it can play everything a PC can. Agreed. Logical. Does that bring new people in? I think is the talking point now, because I agree. Like that's why I'm not jumping to PlayStation, because my library is so extensive. My achievements, my legacy, to your point, Logan, all my cloud saves, it's all there. I don't want to lose it. I don't care that I'm building my library in Steam so comfortably. I don't want to lose my Xbox everything. But are you bringing new people in? And that's the question. If you had a banger Halo, Witcher 3 level Halo, not Halo, I'm sorry. If you had a banger Fable, Witcher 3 level Fable,
dude,
are people buying it? They're not going to buy a console for Avowed. They're going to buy it for Fable. If it's that good, are you going to buy it for, I don't know, they don't have more third-person action adventures.
What's the third-person action adventure?
But
I'm the person that's playing. Why would I be third?
There's no other pillar sell console games coming out other than GTA 6 that we are aware of, right? Because I mean, you look back at how many people have cited, people are only playing the same games they've been playing for 10 years, from their PlayStation 4s to PlayStation 5s to now, their series Xbox Ones to series systems to now. They're playing Fortnite. They're playing Call of Duty. Heck, dude, did you see that Call of Duty was outsold by Battlefield 6 on PlayStation?
Good.
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 Battlefield 6 was outsold by Call of Duty.
100%.
Good, yes, agree. But if you're Xbox, you're like, oh, we just bought them. You know?
Well, I mean,
Maybe.
they really need to maybe like go in and talk to the dev because okay, so here's the issue that I have with this. We have been living under the guidelines of Bobby Kotick for so long that Call of Duty is just on the rails at this point. They aren't trying to like their big thing for this latest Call of Duty was wall jump. That was their like we've got zombies. You guys like zombies? We're going to be doing more zombies. We got a really crazy multiplayer that is the campaign or campaigns multiplayer now, and there's an end game to it that's like a DMZ kind of thing, and like that's cool. The thing that really hit with like what they were like, last time it was Omni movement, and everyone was like, that's cool. This time they're like wall jump, and I'm like, son of, we had that with Mario 64.
Wall jump was perfected with Titanfall 2.
That's fair. But it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, what is Call of Duty doing that's outside of what they really should be doing, which is giving themselves the opportunity to really shine by doing something that is really kind of looking at where shooters should be going, as opposed to just releasing the same thing. Because I'm genuinely, as much as I like Call of Duty and I've been enjoying the campaigns. I mean, I talked about last week how I picked up Cold War to be able to play through the campaign. It's the same thing that we're seeing that isn't really stirring up the first person shooter genre. Like they aren't. And they need to do something that is going to kind of innovate, and they should be the innovators. Like, we're watching South Park and Simpsons.
You're saying Call of Duty should be the innovators or Xbox?
Call of Duty.
Okay, because Xbox, every time they innovate, they shut the studio down and it doesn't do it.
I don't think they're going to close COD studios anytime soon. They may lay off a bunch of people, but I don't think they're going to close any of those studios.
Keep an eye on Jesse's comments in chat. They're looking good.
Yeah. Jesse's talking a lot about. There's a lot of conversation about how the Steam machine is really just a version of the Steam Deck. How it's really not able to really jump into the multiplayer online systems because of the anti cheats that are in place. I have concerns about where Xbox is going with their Xbox console. Because for all intents and purposes, most people are talking about how that's going to be a PC that plays console games. If that's the case, are we going to run into similar issues with Steam not being able to handle some of the anti-cheat stuff that's going on? But what are some of the things that Jesse's talking about as far as Call of Duty here?
I liked his points about the Steam machine, and we have a really good chat going right now, some good conversations going on. But Jesse said for COD Black Ops 6 was the top-selling COD ever. They expected 7 to do less, but this is much less. This much less, I doubt. Meaning 7 is disappointing by comparison to their projections. Also, PlayStation list is the most downloaded, which is always an odd metric. Fair point and good justification there. Says Black Ops 7's multiplayer is so much better than 6's. But people like rotating franchises more. I would agree with that. I do think people like to rotate franchises. Because if you're on the rotation that you don't like, or you're on the franchise you don't like, I don't like Black Ops. Love Modern Warfare. I went from Modern Warfare 2 to 3 and stayed in there. Black Cell every month. Loved it. I don't like Black Ops. I tried to like it. I just don't. And that's okay. He also notes that for Steam Machine, you've got the idea of like, okay, what about your live service games because of the anti-cheat and stuff? I have heard they are working on that. I have genuinely heard they're working on that.
Steam has figured out how to make how to make ARM architecture run the whatever the other one is. So it's like they're figuring out stuff with Proton and
getting Windows on Linux and such. That kind
of Like Steam they're cooking. Like they're cooking in a way that I didn't anticipate in 2026.
Hey, don't tell the nerd chat that I know what I'm talking about with Steam and with PC gaming, because if they find out, I know all about the drivers. I've studied that. I'm very familiar on how to build a PC. I don't want them to know it though.
Yeah,
because I like PC.
How's that second monitor going?
It's pretty beautiful, actually.
Are you looking at a third yet?
No. I got 2 specifically so that I could do homework well.
Yeah.
Because it's just easier. But I've got stuff working on my Steam Deck that wasn't meant to be there from Steam OS. So like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. It's fun. I do want to address, because Clutch Quan Do had asked about Alinea Analytics, how they get their numbers. So a couple elements. You can obviously use Steam performance, copies sold, store performance data from PlayStation, Xbox, subscription engagement, that kind of stuff. Region-specific breakdowns. They also have a lot of API work on the back end because they sell this data to the companies, like they're hired out by Xbox, by PlayStation, by these people to give them metric numbers on their own. They have public APIs and scraped figures. They obviously factor in publisher announcements, but they do a lot of internal modeling so they can talk to these companies. They sell analytical data back to these companies about how their stuff did, and they work on that end. I will tell you also, Matt Pescatella is planning to come on in a few weeks. They're waiting until they get their yearly thing out from Circana, and he's going to come on, and that's a great question for him. So absolutely, we'll talk to him and give you guys more information about it. That's kind of been our background goal of XEP since the inception, is to expand our knowledge. Well, Matt Piscatella is a great source of knowledge to kind of talk about that stuff. So he will do that. I'll say the Alinea Analytics stuff, there's much more that I'm not just mentioning here. Nerd Chat, don't say it. Don't tell him. Don't tell Dan at all.
Our sources just, we made it up.
9 perception, by the way, if he were in Fallout. Chuckle. All right. Hit that like button if you guys haven't yet. I'd appreciate you. Logan, we've got I'm sorry, did I allow you a moment to, did you share everything you wanted to share?
Oh yeah. As far as where we're going with it, it's like closing, I would say it's not where I think Xbox would love the numbers to be for their games, but I also don't think, outside of honestly Indiana Jones, that the stuff that they've put out is anything that would cater to the PlayStation like audience, like our
Doom and Oblivion.
Yeah, well, Doom. Yeah, I'll say Doom.
Doom's a gaming franchise, not a PlayStation or Xbox thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Dark
but
Ages it's also
a tweak I did not think suited it.
But that I think is like a known. I think like they're expectant, because that was like a day and date. And that was one of those things where it's like, okay, Doom is just expected to be there. It's even if it's the first party title, it's still third party release regardless.
It did not do what 2016 and Eternal did. That's for sure.
No, but I think that those were new entries that did something that everyone was just like, what? And I think Eternal was kind of like that on steroids, and Dark Ages is more just like, hey, we're playing in a different means. And as much as I love it, I think a lot of people were just kind of hoping for another version of 2016 Doom.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think like looking at the list, like I would say that for all intents purposes, Indiana Jones and Gears are really like the ones that are just like the unknown quantity, because they were exclusive to Xbox for so long. So those were like the two that are just like, okay, well, you know, Ninja Gaiden 4, Tony Hawk, Flight Simulator, because it's a smaller niche one out there, Outer Worlds and stuff. Outer Worlds was the one that's really kind of a bummer, because it's like, that's a fantastic one, and they had access to the first one. So where did that fail to hit with PlayStation gamers? Because I think that's the question is what is going to hit, and is it that they're too loyal to their IPs, or that the games aren't just good enough?
Fair point. I don't think loyalty to IP factors. I think once you see the game you want to play on the store, you're gonna get it. Right.
You go to Twitter, and I guarantee you, if you told people that Nathan Drake was going to release on Xbox, like it would burn that site down.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, like, how do you burn what's already on fire, my friend? But
you throw gasoline on it.
In truth, though, like no one cares. Like Jason was on a few days ago. Yeah. The biggest games in the world have nothing relevant to our conversation. Xbox and PlayStation gamers don't even factor into these brain rot titles and all these other titles that are out there that people don't even worry about.
I know that Steel Brain Rot one, by the way.
Good for you, buddy. That's bad. I'm so sorry.
That's Fortnite.
I think truly, I don't think there's any. All right, let me step back and rephrase here. The only titles I think Xbox has coming that have the chance to do major big hits right now on PlayStation, outside of your Call of Duty, your live service title, Starfield 1.9, right? It's not quite a 2.0, right? Like if they can clean up the amount of loading screens, which here they have done a lot of work on, and they can streamline that experience, that has a chance to be very big, right? And then Fable. I think Fable does. Todd Oxtra saying in chat,
really?
I think Fable could be big on PlayStation. Again, third person fantasy-based RPG, yes, but we don't know enough about it, right? I'm talking about potential. Forza Horizon is going to crush it.
Yeah, see, that's where I would go. I would say like Forza is going to be the thing that decimates the numbers, especially if they do like a same. If they do day one launch multi-platform, Forza is going to kill it.
Jesse said, I don't think people care about actual loading screens.
I do.
Really, I
they
disagree.
Suck.
I think when you go back to
stupid.
I love Starfield, but there was a lot of screens, man.
That was dumb. I hated that. That was one of the things that I was constantly just like, it's a good thing I'm playing this on PC, because if I had a slow hard drive, this thing would be done. I'd be out.
Let's see here. Aren't loading screens a staple for Bethesda?
Yes. They are. Yeah.
Too many.
Here, look at this item. Rotate around this item. You're going to really like look at the detail and really love like what it is.
Bethesda's got to upgrade, man. They've got to update themselves.
Yeah, that's called getting rid of Todd Howard.
Yes, thank you. Agree. With respect, agree. Yeah. Let me take a moment. I want to thank our patrons and channel members real quick. Thank them for being here. If you're watching live, please hit that like button. If you're watching the VOD, hit that like button. If you've joined us over at patreon.com/Xbox Expansion Pass, we appreciate you. You are doing a lot to keep our show alive on the back end, and we are really appreciative. Same for any and everyone that has shared this show out to your various platforms. We like to read off our tier 2 and 3 members, and we're going to do that right now. We want to give shout outs to the wonderful and amazing Jesse Norris, Glyphere, Jimmy, Matto1606, Matt Valdez, Clutch Kwando, Omen, Jesse Prius, Fatto, Aaron G, Nick Bentley, The Scarecrow, Ken Rosing, Fabian Winkler, Regis Stella the Brony Pirate, Rob Frawley II, Tao Zochi, Nicholas Johnson, Randolph Thor 19, Hafrican, Game Positive, Jam Pack Sam, Red Beast, Dano 12, DJ Hero, Brenda Myers, aka The Winter Gamer, the Lord Sir Master James Suddy, and Sony's VP of Marketing, Kevin Butler. Thank you all for choosing to support us financially over at patreon.com/Xbox Expansion Pass. We appreciate you. Thank you to our channel members and the ways that you support us, and any and everyone, whether you're watching on YouTube, whether you're listening on iTunes and Spotify. Thank you guys. We appreciate you. All right. Let's see here, Mr. Logan. It's in our thumbnail. It's frustrating news. I actually took a bit of an emotional hit this week when I saw it. Another wave of layoffs hitting our gaming industry. It didn't get the news compiled in time to ask Jason about it, but I did some napkin math prior to that interview. We'd had over 20,000 gaming dev layoffs since the COVID kind of reduction, or since the end of COVID, right? So you had that like a big expansion for COVID, and then you have the contraction for it, but we've had over 20,000 jobs lost. The latest hit a medium that I am a huge fan of, the VR space. Meta closed multiple studios, slashed more than 1,000 positions. 3 VR studios closed outright, being Twisted Pixel Games, Sanzaru Games, and Armature Studio. My beloved Camouflage, which made Arkham Shadow a genuinely fantastic Arkham game, closed as well. I do want to share a small anecdote about why this is important to me. For anyone that's new to XEP or hasn't heard this story before, at SGF 2024, I was walking in a crowd just after the YouTube Theater experience, and I saw somebody with an Arkham shirt on. We had just seen the announcement for Arkham Shadow, which is a very odd thing to see because I absolutely love the Arkham franchise. And I just came up to this person. I said, "Hey, you guys are making Arkham Shadow?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Thanks for making Arkham. I really appreciate you. Thank you." and he said, "Oh, you're gonna play Shadow?" And I wasn't trying to be rude or silly. I was like, "I don't have a quest, but I'm looking forward to seeing the coverage for it." It was Ryan Patton, pardon me, the head of Camouflage, who has been included in the layoffs in this most recent bit, which sucks. And he said, "Luke, give me your stuff. I'm going to send you a quest." He did send me a quest 3. I played through Arkham Shadow. I love it. Love it. He sent me a 3S. I upgraded to a 3 just because. Fell in love with VR gaming. Very excited for Steam VR. And it's just a bummer because he also sent me Iron Man VR. He did that out of the kindness of his heart because he knew I was a fan of Arkham. It stinks, man. It stinks. Camouflage wasn't closed, but suffered layoffs, says Jesse. I had read that they were closed, but they weren't closed outright, but they just had a bunch of layoffs. Either way, decimated, right? And I'll look that up on the back end, Jesse, just to make sure I report it properly. But just a bummer, man. I mean, Deadpool VR just came out. It's a really good game. Asgard's Wrath, one of the best games ever made. It's on in the VR space. And Meta was one of those companies that was, for all its Meta's many problems, in the VR space specifically, they were funding a lot of games being made. Exclusive games at that, which you can argue good and bad for, but that sucks. This is a blow to VR gaming, and I'm really bummed about it.
It's a niche at this point. It's one of those things that I think it's tough to, it's a hard sell because I still don't think that VR gaming has really found like its thing yet. Like there's been a lot of really good games out there, but when you have studios like working towards trying to figure out like how to get players to interact with it in a way that doesn't make them sick or doesn't disorient them too much, you really have to build in a lot of accessibility into those titles. Things like Beat Saber are great because it's effectively just like an arcade DDR, and you're just kind of moving in one place or not moving at all. And at that point, you're just kind of like enjoying the experience of it in VR without having to worry too much about like subjecting yourself to movement that might cause like queasiness. So games like Arkham, Asgard's, Deadpool and stuff, they do a fantastic job. Things like Forza Horizon, or not Forza Horizon, Call of the Mountain, do a really good job of the accessibility nature to it. But, you know, shout out to Oculus because they were the ones that really made VR possible, and then Meta scooped them up and take credit for it. But it's still a really tough thing to try and see if it's going to work out. PlayStation is effectively like they aren't doing anything with VR. I was anticipating at least a God of War game, and that never happened. I figured like if Sony was going to make another stab at VR, they would at least utilize their IP more than they did with the first one. And they had one or two like first party titles, and that's really it.
There are so many good VR games that do a really good job of recalling a weapon. So like you throw a weapon and recall. Imagine throwing the Leviathan axe.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah. And so do I. And there legitimately are great VR games that do that. And it's a bummer. And it makes me cautious about a Steam frame. It also makes me want to sell my Quest 3 and put that forward. I'm going to GameStop today to sell my Series S and one of my Switches just to build a Steam funding.
Are you keeping the PS5?
No, I sold the PS5.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
Yep, well, sold that last week.
Kind of friend of mine.
No, I didn't say anything because I didn't want it to be taken as console war noise. Right?
It is console war noise. How dare you try and speak on Sony like
you got me the last game I wanted on my PlayStation. You bought me Spider-Man 2 for Steam. Yeah. So it's like, all right, that's the last game. Once the Steam machine's out, I'll pick up my God of War because I do love God of War. I don't know if I like God of War 2 that much.
Dude, why do people hate on Ragnarok? It's so good.
It's so slow. It's just slow. But I'm not, again, I didn't put it on social. I didn't want it to be console war noise. I host the Xbox expansion pass. I love games everywhere. I'm just reducing the stuff that I don't have time to play. And
that's fair.
And that's really what's going on there. And so just a quick note for audio listeners. I put it kind of on the screen a minute ago. Camouflage not closed, but gutted. Sanzaru, who was making the sequel to Arkham Shadow, has been shut down. So that's a bummer. That's a bummer. Todd Oxtra trying to catch me in my own logic. Slow like Hellblade 2. That is a false parallel because Hellblade, always slow. God of War 2018 had moments of reflection, but not 30 minutes of walking and talking. And so I think that's a false parallel. I appreciate the humor in it, but like that's the difference. I will tell you this, hearing news out of Ninja Theory, or not out of Ninja Theory, let me rephrase that. News from behind the scenes about Ninja Theory, Project Mara being, not what it was once thought to be, but essentially Hellblade 3, kind of moving along. I always wanted Senua of War. I want that world. I want that gameplay, the combat I really like in Hellblade, but I want it more expanded to be more God of War-esque. But I loved Hellblade 2 for what it was.
So you want a slower God of War in Hellblade?
No, I want a faster Hellblade that's with more to do.
Well, I got news for you. That's called Ragnarok. It's fantastic.
Ragnarok has a little boy walking around whining about his feelings. I work in a school. I get a lot of that.
Just because you emulate just because you empathize better with the boy than you do with the dad does not mean it's a bad game. It just means you need to acknowledge that you are God. I'm not going to say his actual name, but whatever the boy's name is.
I'm not going to say it because I can't remember it.
No, I can't remember I can't remember his another game, but he's got the real name. His like the spoiler to one. I'm not going to say that.
Okay. All right. I thought you were like forgetting his name.
No, I can't remember what the hell it is. It starts with an A, and it's not Atreyu because that's the one from Neverending Story.
So I was thinking also, do I sell my Thor's hammer? Do I sell Mjolnir? Like I have a few collector's editions.
Dude, if you sell Mjolnir, I'll take Mjolnir.
Are you selling? You gonna buy it? Yeah, I'll send it to you. But shipping's a beast on that thing because it's a really nice box. Look into it.
Yeah.
And then hit me up because I'll gladly help you out.
But I like God of War. I
love God of War. But
I'll be honest, the Mjolnir collector's edition was nothing compared to the first statue that they put out though.
Yeah, I have that one over there. But hit me up after the show or in DM. I'll gladly, but I will tell you shipping's going to be rough on that one.
Okay.
Just because it's big.
So first off, we derailed from the Steam Frame conversation about you selling your consoles because you wanted to invest in Steam Frame, and I don't blame you for that because I've been genuinely I've held the trigger so long on my PSVR 2 that I'm afraid I'm not going to get anywhere close to the $500 back on it. And that's Sony's fault. And that's Sony's fault.
I'm not laughing at you. It just, it's more of like that. Like,
oh yeah, I know.
That
sucks. It does. It sucks a lot. So I may just keep it and then look and see like what's going on. But at the same time, I'm not that good when it comes to VR. Like it does not, I do get sick. I do get nauseous. It is one of the few things that actually makes me sick. And as I'm getting older, I'm noticing like car sickness is something I have to pay closer attention to where it used to never bother me. And I don't get motion sick on roller coasters or anything like that, but certain things are starting to mess with my motion sickness. And it's like, dang it. Cause I really love like the VR space in there. And I think that that's going to go well. Seeing the studios get gutted though, that sucks, especially right before Steam releases their Steam frame.
Mm-hmm.
I would like if Steam were to actually pick up the devs and kind of be like, hey, let's get some internal games being built for the Steam frame. And
we don't know that they don't.
Well, I'm saying like, hopefully this is something that they do if they aren't already, because there's a lot of talent there that could be utilized.
Big thing for me about the Steam frame, what I really like about it is like you can do your Steam VR connected to your PC, or it's got system on chip. So, which again, don't tell the nerd chat, I know these things. You can play it independently. It's also got a really cool tracking method, which I really like for 3D space. As long as it's comfortable, because I've not worn one. Because like with the Quest, you need an extra head strap to make that comfortable. And you don't notice the weight until you take it off. But I'm interested. And like, cost is everything, right? But I'm interested. What are you gonna do if you buy a Steam machine and a Steam frame? What are you doing for your customer? do you include Half-Life Alyx and Half-Life 3, or do you include XY or store credit, or I don't know, something? I'm just curious, like, how you selling this thing in a time where hardware is getting
a luxury remarkable at this point.
And shout out to our buddy Joseph Brand. He's like, I'm gonna build a PC now.
He's not building the PC. Don't say he's building it. He's having someone else build it. He went and bought the components, and then he's like, can
I tell you, you're gatekeeping this hell right now.
How can you imagine?
When I say the frame, you know, the judgmental you people. You're those you people.
You know what?
He's not building a PC. He didn't play it on hard mode.
You're gonna go buy a classic car, and you're gonna say, I'm gonna refurbish this classic car. It's gonna look beautiful, and then you hire a buddy that's a mechanic to refurbish it for you while you stand back and watch. That's just management. You're not doing nothing.
He had it refurbished. He's having a PC built. Who cares? You guys are gatekeeping.
There's something beautiful. There's something beautiful about making a Lego block machine, like PC machine, by clicking in the pieces yourself, getting frustrated over the fan connectors, figuring out like how you even connect a PSU and what cables you should be using. There is like a sense of accomplishment that is on par with most Souls games that people are like, I didn't think I could do it, but I finally did it. I killed that boss. That's PC making. That's PC making. As a huge fan of Souls games, I am disappointed that he is not willing to tackle this challenge himself.
Hey, XEP listener, come to the side here. We're gonna let Logan sit there for a second. Can you really expect anything different from people that call themselves the master race? Can you? Can you?
How dare you?
All right, you PC people. I don't know, man. I'm. Obviously, PC gaming is the future, but I don't care if he built it. I have a PC. Oh, okay. I didn't build it. I bought it from Ains. Who cares?
Yeah, but you're not calling yourself a PC gamer, though.
I'm a gamer. I play games.
Yeah, but you're not calling yourself a PC gamer.
Whatever. Why does it matter?
You've been thick and thin through as a console gamer. You were more than happy to buy the if it was a pre-built PC, you would happily buy it. You have no interest.
I looked at them last night
in learning how to build a PC on your own.
I looked up PC costs last night for pre-builts just out of curiosity, right? Because right now I have no need, but like doing the dual monitor and doing some of the stuff behind the scenes with my Steam Deck and investigating like how I want to get more of my games in certain places. I was like, all right, what's a pre-built look like? Decent ones are at 2, super expensive at 3.5. That's what it looked like. And I was like, that's not bad, not good, but it's not bad. It's not what I want, right? Like, but it was just, who cares? If I have a pre-built PC, why are you guys worried what
it's not about whether or not you're changing the argument here. It's not about whether or not you built it yourself. It's about whether or not you're saying that you built it yourself.
Oh, well, I don't think he's out there saying I'm building.
He did.
Who cares?
And you just said that he did.
Well, like you're having it refurbished. You're having your car refurbished. You're refurbishing your car. Like,
yeah, I'm just
doing that. That's him initiating that. I don't care.
I'm saying, don't say you're building something if you don't actually build it. Like, and it could be as simple as like, I'm going to build this furniture. And then you go to IKEA, you buy the kit, but you still build it. But you don't hire someone to come build something and then be like, I built that. That's my point.
Hit the like button. We're really nice. All right, back to layoffs. Meta, of course, closed a whole bunch of people. Ubisoft also announced a second round of layoffs for 2026, roughly 55 roles at Massive Entertainment. That's The Division, that's Star Wars Outlaws, and Ubisoft Stockholm. What's fascinating about that, Outlaws is in a great spot now compared to its launching into Game Pass as well. The Division had a definitive edition leaked out by a ratings board or something akin to that. I don't remember exactly what it was. And Ubisoft Abu Dhabi they previously reduced their staff 29 roles in late 2025. There's a lot going on at Ubisoft. Goodness gracious. We also want to note that Unity had some layoffs, and beloved Xbox icon Larry Herb, Xbox Live's Major Nelson, was in those layoffs. Shout out to him.
That was rough
to me, and it's a shame because he is a pillar name for a lot of Xbox gamers from the 360 era. And a lot of those pillar names are not necessarily liked anymore. Mike, Ibarra. So hope Larry's doing well. Hope that things are good there.
Yeah, hopefully he's able to find. I mean, honestly, like him, what he should do is honestly, him and Reggie should go and usurp the CEO for GameStop and actually make GameStop great again.
GameStop will never be great again. Physical's dead. Just as record stores are gone, people don't go get their photos developed at the CVS pharmacy anymore.
Some people do. It's
in mass. No, it's not a thing.
No, not in mass. But I'm saying that's why you make it great. That's why you make.
Oh boy, we're not.
You figure it out. I think Reggie and Larry could figure it out.
I think they would have a killer podcast. I honestly think they would be a great duo for a podcast.
Xbox's podcast was really good with Larry kind of doing that, but I mean, I do like where the new direction of their podcast has gone too.
Yeah, but I mean more like as NDAs expire and as they're able to talk more about.
Things. You want like insider. Dirt.
Not necessarily. I want stories. I want.
You want the
stories. Tea. No, not like a. Now I want these legendary. I want legendary voices to speak in an unfiltered manner about the state of the industry, and I want to hear their insight. I love learning about the industry. That goes back to interviewing some of the people we do. Speaking to John Romero was a joy for me and a personal accomplishment because I love Doom. But also, this is someone who's been in the industry so long. They have a lot of observational wisdom to give or to share. So I like hearing that, you know?
Yeah. So, yeah, I would love to. Reggie's one of those people I could listen to any day of the week and just have him like talk about stuff. Yeah, dude, he's like seen so much and been in charge of so many things that's one of those dudes. Like if I had like a Sunday morning brunch with Reggie and mimosas, like I'd probably be set for life. I'd probably be fine.
I used to be far too prideful to share on air that I want help connecting with some of these people to interview them. I am no longer there. XEP is a wonderful place that I take great joy and pride in, and we have a wonderful audience. With no apologies, I would love to have these people on. I would love to have them join us. I've actively tried to figure out a way to connect with Sean Layden. I'm actively tried to figure out ways to connect with certain people. If they're out there and you have a way and you're listening, I would love to just have you on. We do not participate in console war noise, consciously, intentionally, I should say. We want to be professional and jovial and enjoy insight. So this goes, I put it out on Blue Sky this morning. If there are devs out there and you want to come share your experiences making your game and it's Xbox adjacent, which means on PC, you're going to have an Xbox, or you did have an Xbox SKU, or you tried and it didn't work. Come share your story. We love that. It's fun.
Yeah. It's fun. I would love to learn more about how the Game Pass system works from a dev perspective. Because there's so many people that are like, it's the worst thing in the world. So many people that are like, it's been the greatest thing for us. We've seen so much success. So much of that it feels like it's anecdotal. But those stories are still interesting.
Yep. Sending out 5 XEP memberships. Those are our last ones to give away for the month. We appreciate you guys. Enjoy those. Got some cool emojis in there. Let me know what ones you guys want updated, by the way, for the channel. Logan, Resident Evil had a very quiet showcase. The definition, according to Impact Sam, of it could have been an email. Interesting. Neat. That said, no demo announced. Resident Evil Requiem next month. I'm excited for that. Love Resident Evil. We talked about that before. I didn't even watch the showcase. I just want to note that it exists out there for anyone that does want to. That's a day one for me. I'm going to play that one for sure. You?
I watched it this morning because I remembered that it was a thing. And I was like, oh, shoot, I wanted to watch this. So I'm actually it's very interesting to me to watch this showcase because the more I watch stuff about Requiem, the more it feels like 4. And instead of Chloe, you have Grace. But it's more of an evolution of 4, which I think is kind of cool because one of the things that I enjoyed about Spider-Man was like being able to play Spider-Man. I would probably enjoy playing as Leon in Requiem, But you always had those Mary Jane moments in Spider-Man that felt like you were less powerful and you had to kind of like play in a different style. And I think Requiem kind of pulls some of that DNA and influence and puts it in the hands of Grace. But they actually give Grace some tools at her disposal. And one of the things that I was actually kind of impressed with was they built some agency into Grace in the form of takedowns and this whole like infected blood system that they're going to be doing with injections and stuff, and how you're going to be able to deal with enemies as opposed to games like Spider-Man where like the Mary Jane moment, if you got caught, you just had to get reset. Whereas with Grace, there's not really going to be that kind of opportunity. If you get caught, you're probably going to die. And I like that they gave her a chance to have this beast of a revolver that is kind of like a for all intents and purposes, an moment. And you get one chance to really kind of like help clear things out. But the hypodermic needle takedowns and crafting system, I think, was very interesting, and it added a little bit of a layer to her side of the playthrough. Leon, I think they've done a great job with what I saw was the natural evolution in 4's kind of melee aspect to his combat. But overall, I actually think Requiem's going to be a fantastic game. I think it's going to be that natural growth that you would see from 4. So having Ethan for the last, was it 2 games? If you like get out of like 5 and 6's territory, it's nice to kind of see Leon coming back and kind of doing what I think a lot of us enjoyed with 4 remake is just like kind of that seeing things kind of evolve and change. And they put in a mode called casual that's going to help with aim assist and stuff, and not require the save tapes, the typewriter tapes to be able to save. So I was very, very happy to see like where they're taking Resident Evil. I think they're doing a lot of service to the broader community and really kind of putting in some effort to do more with the characters that we have right now than what it initially kind of felt like it was going to be. So I liked it. I thought it was a good showcase.
Good take. All right, good take. In the midst of your genuinely excellent take, Freight Conductor was kind enough to gift 5 XEP memberships. Freight Conductor, always wonderful. We appreciate you. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. We saw at SGF, we got to see a good presentation on Resident Evil, and we got real excited from what we saw. Yeah. I know I'm day one in there. I agree with Jesse in chat saying that this is like RE4 remake plus some of 7, and I'm digging that because 7's amazing. RE4 remake is amazing. Did you end up? What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say I wanted to call out Jesse's comment about Leon. Of course, is a damn near superhero human murder bot. It's funny that he brings that up because I was watching. I put on Hurt Locker last night.
Oh, I watched that last week.
And it's funny that I was thinking about this, but I was thinking like Leon must be like Hurt Locker, like what's his name from Hurt Locker, because he has been so deep into murdering.
Like Jeremy Renner's character?
Yeah, Jeremy Renner's character. Like he must just be so deep into that, and he's been doing it for so long that he must not be able to have like a normal life outside of just murdering zombies and stuff. Like it must just be one of those things where he's just like, where's the next bomb? Because I'm going to go take care. Like that's all I know. And he's just like, just send me to the next zombie infestation, because that's what it feels like.
Yeah. Oh, that movie's so good. When he takes off his like bomb suit and he's like, there's enough bang in there to blow us all to Jesus. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die comfortable. I'm like, whew.
Yep.
Good line. Also, a ton of Marvel people in there. People in there. That was fun.
Yeah. Shout out to James Cameron's wife, who makes better movies than he does most of the time.
James Cameron's wife is the director.
Was the director for Hurt Locker and a bunch of others that are actually really, really good. I'd have to pull up the IMDb to refresh myself, but she's a fantastic filmmaker.
Me not knowing who that is.
I can't remember her name.
Susie Amos Cameron. All right.
Yeah.
Let's look up her body of work for this audio podcast.
Random.
Yeah.
Detour.
Also interesting to note, this blew me out of the water here. New Line Cinema. No, I'm reading two things. Sorry.
Catherine Bigelow. That's who it is. Thank you, Jesse. I'm not discrediting James. I'm just saying Catherine Bigelow's a really good director.
All right, now I'm just confused because I have a different name on my screen. Anywho,
well, you looked up through Google AI.
No, not AI. Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate. That's on its way to Xbox this soon. That's on our new release list this week, which blew my mind over on Xbox Wire.
That's cool.
It says the Buku versions January 21st, which threw me off. I didn't realize it was this close.
That is really close. That's wild. That's cool.
Yeah. Really and truly. All right, Jesse's helping us out in chat. We're figuring out who we've got here. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Man, James Cameron's had a lot of wives. Okay. Anywho, Final Fantasy VII showing up on Xbox this week. I think that's crazy. I know. About time, yes. All these things, yes. But like, wow. All right.
It needed to happen. It's man. Again, that's one of those things where it's like Xbox players just have not had access to it, and that is wild. But I mean, like Star Wars Outlaw on Game Pass, Resident Evil Village on coming to Game Pass. Final Fantasy making its way, or 7 Integrate finally making its way over to Xbox. Call of Duty's got the Fallout series characters making their way to they genuinely does look good. Would love to have a Fallout game like that, but I'll take characters in there and whatnot. There's some pretty good stuff coming to Game Pass in the near future if it's not already on here.
I'll also just because I think it's relevant in the news. I obviously, I always champion Dead by Daylight because I love it, but Stranger Things content drops on January 27th. This is the second round of Stranger Things content. It looks really good, by the way.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that just as a fan. It really does look good.
Yeah, they did a good job with it.
They really did. I strongly think that game is in need of a visual uptick. But I mean, I'm a pretty big fan of Dead by Daylight, and I'm just wrapped up season 2 of Stranger Things. I'm not going to look at the chat for just a second. Logan, protect me. Just finished up season 2, starting season 3. Like, I'm really enjoying that. So, I'm just happy that's getting some love. I'll also note, bud, Xbox era's greatest mistake on their Game of the Year list was having Mario Kart World there and not Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Sonic Racing Crossworlds gotten multiple new characters. We just had a Pac-Man event. We got more stuff on the way. It feels good to be Luke lately. Oh, and Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. The more I look at that game, that's a Luke Lord Lego game right there, man.
Yeah, that's 100% expected.
There's a lot of stuff to be happy about. That's all I'm saying. All right. We got a great question from our boy Todd Oxtra that I want to put in here. Todd Oxtra asks, what would be your dream release schedule for Xbox games this year to give them the best chance for success? Logan, this is a great question. Great dream schedule, right? Like, so games are ready to go, done, polished. They're in their best state they can be. What you got?
I think honestly, what I think would be really, really nice is you've got Fable in March. You've got Forza Horizon 6 in May. You've got Halo Campaign Evolved in July. You've got I'm blanking out on the other one. Gears of War E-Day in September. And then you've got the next Call of Duty in November. And you give each of them 2 months. So every 2 months, you're getting a brand new first party title. It gives everyone an opportunity to kind of look forward to something. And, GTA 6 be damned, because that'll probably come out. I would not be surprised if it gets delayed again. But I think that cadence would offer Game Pass owners a reason to stay subscribed throughout the entire year. And then, of course, Redfall 2 in January of 2027.
I hate you for that. You were on a roll until you said that part. All right. Confirmed games for 2026.
They're going to call it Bite Back.
That was the name of the expanded edition.
I know. It never came out.
You know, my students make fun of me. They found a short where I said bite back, and then now they all like, Mr. Laura, bite back. And I'm like, well, you're not nice. All right. So we have four confirmed games for this year. Forza, Fable, Gears, Halo Campaign Evolved. Call of Duty not confirmed, but yeah. So I think Campaign Evolved to me is the one that you want to put. That should have been your May release. Not that I don't mind it, right? Campaign Evolved, summer. I think Forza Horizon, I'm going to go with that May date because I feel like we kind of know that one. Fable, I would have put in the end of Q1. And Gears E-Day towards the back end of the year, kind of in that September, August area. One thing I don't like, I never like the end of August. I don't think that's a good time frame. I think February is too underutilized, and April is often underutilized. That's not to say games don't release there. I just mean in terms of first party. I also think summer is underutilized. Now, outside of those titles, you anticipate a Call of Duty, and then you got expansions to a lot of like the live service stuff. We have, it's not Vessel of Hatred. What's the Diablo one, bud?
Diablo 4. No. Do we know the name for the next expansion?
Yeah, we do. Jampack Sam provided us with that. He did a code giveaway and such.
That's right. Sorry, let me pull up.
WoW. WoW has stuff coming. See, this is why Jesse should just be our note giver. And then you had Towerborn, which again, I don't think Towerborn's a big one, but like they've got a lot on their plate that they need to space out so they don't eat their own audience, kind of thing. But
do they need to because I mean that's kind of the Lord of Hatred, by the way, is the next expansion.
Okay.
Mephisto coming to full fruition.
I think if they've got a Fallout 3 remaster, or they've got like one of those big deals, I do want them to be cautious with shadow drops. I want them to be better about marketing their games, marketing their stuff. But I've been saying that for years.
I mean, look at Expedition 33. They said that because of Oblivion, they had better success, or they were attributing the Oblivion to having more people look at Game Pass and say that helped them. I mean, there's something to be said about having. I mean, look at 2020. 2020, everyone was going into lockdown for COVID, and it was Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing New Horizons launching on the same day. And it did gangbusters because of that. Like a lot of people were like, yeah, let's support, Doom Guy and Isabel joining forces to fight evil and build houses. So, I mean, I don't know that there's necessarily anything that could be bad about launching or having overlapping launches. But I do think that those need to be different genres. Otherwise you run into that Titanfall 2 issue.
Yeah, fair. Good call out. I don't trust Xbox to market, given how badly they marketed Forza Horizon 5. Was it 5? There was a Forza that they did As Dusk Falls, I think was the one that they spotlighted instead of a Forza game or something. I was like, what are y'all doing? But a dream announcement that I think or something, a realistic dream announcement. I say realistic in a relative sense, right? In the world of dream announcements, but like, you have the Halo campaign Evolved, release date coming Q1 or 2, 2026. Halo 2 Evolved, Q1 or 2, 2027. Like they announced that and they're like, we're working on this one too. And they essentially say that like we're remastering this whole franchise. And because they've got the tools, because it's an Unreal, because the talent's there and it's the pipeline, they say, hey, we're bringing them all. They're all coming. I would love that. I would genuinely love that.
I really wish that they had just done the trilogy as a remaster, because I think that 4 and 5 still look and play great right now. I still think 4 is very much the Gears of War Light edition.
And I love 4.
4 is really good, but
Infinite. Those
It was too short though. The campaign was just too short. It was like a quarter of or like a third of what 5 was. And I would have liked to have more time in 4. But I also respect that they were trying to get there. You know, it was them trying to kind of get their feet under their ground after picking up the baton.
You said feet under their ground, and I just was like,
"Oh, you're right." Sorry. Trying to get their feet underneath them with the franchise, and kind of like, you know, knowing what they were going to do, how it was going to feel, making sure that it felt true to the you know, the trilogy and Judgment, even though Judgment was People Can Fly. But I think like they should have done the original 3 as like a remake, and had them kind of like, because we saw them, they were playing around with you know, Unreal Engine 5 for a long time. So it'll be interesting to see like how that's come along, especially after the Matrix demo that they put out back in, what was that, 2020, 2021. And well, it didn't need to. It was just a tech demo.
I know. I just wanted one.
I would have loved to have had a Matrix like game.
Path of Neo and Enter the Matrix.
Yeah, it was a good one.
I
like Enter the Matrix more though.
So do I. It's a better game, but Neo's cooler.
Yeah.
Freight Conductor says Fallout 3 Remaster Shadow Drop next week would make my year. Good call out there. Jesse's saying Gears of War E-Day not having Rod. He's saying Rod Ferguson there is going to be a positive. I agree with him. Clutch Kwando coming in saying Rod had some really bad ideas for what he wanted Gears 6 to be. Fully agree with you, to include it should be Gears of War. It should be Gears of War, not Gears.
It's always going to be Gears of War.
And it should be. I will say Rod Ferguson, a lot of great things done for the Gears of War franchise, but much, and this is outside looking in, and I would still be privileged to speak or interview him and such, but I often look at people like Rod and Todd Howard and some of the legends, and I'm like, should you be making franchise level decisions? And I wonder that, right? Because I just, there is an age out aspect to it. Mind you, I'm 40. You know what I mean? Like you're in there. I don't know what it is. But like my point is there's a window of time. Should the 55-year-old be making decisions for the 20-year-old market? I don't know. I don't know if
I think that they can. I think that it just depends on if that's where the rest of the studio is too. Because I think you need to have a crew on your ship that respects and wants the same thing that you do. That honestly is one of those things that's like, if you come at it's like trying to take God of War outside of you know, like what they did with God of War with the kind of reboot was something that was so different, but it was so true to like what God of War felt like at its core value, that it was enough of a departure and enough time from the last God of War games that everyone kind of accepted it. Trying to come at Gears of War 6 the way Rod wanted to after Gears of War 5 felt like it was too weird of a change to do so soon after completing like the first, or like 4 and 5.
Yeah. Very Last Jedi in a way. Like, why are we getting choices that impact plot? Like, you know what I mean? It's very strange.
I didn't really like that aspect of it too much, but I did appreciate that it was a mix up. But I don't know. It's hard. That's why I think I'm kind of looking forward to the nostalgia grab that E-Day is going to provide us. Kind of going back to its roots, literally.
And I'll say it again. I hope they find a way to make it relevant and also make it fun. Factor in some cool inspirers that factor in IP. Make it a way for people to enjoy classic Gears, but welcome new players, because I think that's the big problem. We always talk about console gaming not growing. Some of the franchises, they need to evolve, but still maintain what they are. And that's a balance, right? Like there's no perfect way to do it. I thought Gears 4 did a good job at remembering its origins, but also giving cool segments. Thinking about the motorcycle being an evolved version of the the tank. I think seeing Asvo Fields in Gears 3 was cool. Like, there's a lot of neat stuff. But I really am bummed. I really am bummed that Gears 5 we don't get the conclusion. In the same way I'm bummed like Halo Infinite. I loved that story. I really wish we saw more of that story. So just little stuff like find a way. I don't like the cliffhanger. What's happened to the franchise? Are we going back and it's all rewritten? Is this like Batman Begins? And it's really just a new Batman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I'm fine if it's Batman Begins, but tell me.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of where I am with the Batman. Like, I'm looking forward to the sequel for the Batman because it is a new Batman. It is a new Bruce Wayne. With Gears of War ending the way it did in 5, I would have loved to have seen that. Halo got in its own way. They really like screwed themselves over with their monetization and content development plans and their need to try and justify multiplayer for that franchise has decimated it's like a campaign aspect to it. Yeah. Which is why it's ironic that they're going back to 1 and saying like, hey, we're going to reboot 1 as kind of a mea culpa for killing Infinite.
Yep. All right, Logan, I think we've addressed the amazing people that support our channel quite well. Is there anything on your docket that you want to point out or let people know about or anything like that we haven't gotten to?
I mean, it's I just celebrated 400 episodes of the Keelhauled podcast. Thank you. So that working on next episode this weekend. Sea Thieves has got their next update coming with Return to the Devil's Roar. In Act 2, they're going to be doing ways to kind of drive people to the fortress that's out there. So there's going to be a lot of murder, a lot of theft, and hopefully some fun that involves like murderous volcanoes that drop rocks on your ship. So that's going on over at Keelhauled podcast. But outside of that, honestly, just trying to stay warm, be safe, and try not to worry too much about things I can't control and play games in the meantime.
There you go, man. I love it. Well, I will thank any and everyone that was super amazing to check out the Jason Schreier interview. Really cool there. Yeah. I'm going to be talking to Gunner Optics coming up soon. Just because I like their stuff. Like, I really do. But I want to know about some of the technology behind it and how they create it and why they're marketing to gamers now and just little stuff. Yeah. Grad school's in full swing. I'm avoiding Joseph Moran lately. That's been fun.
Yeah.
It's
good. You don't want that association. You're going to get knocks on the door.
That's right. Oh, come on. All righty. It took me a second. All righty, guys. Thank you to everybody in chat who watched us. If you haven't hit that like button, please do so. Check out our Patreon if you're so kind and willing. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Take care.